Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 10th of June up until the 16th, but we'll first look at any games that have released without being in one of these videos for whatever reason, and then we'll move on to the week at hand. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. So to start with a few games already out, the first is We Love Katamari REROLL plus Royal Reverie. We Love Katamari, which was the second game in the series and released in 2005, has been remastered with a revamped in-game UI. You need to move the Katamari, rolling up objects to make it bigger, and you cannot roll up anything bigger than your current Katamari, so the key is to think about the order in which you roll things up in each stage. It's a simple premise that's very addictive and it's just a very fun series. The new Royal Reverie mode has you taking on a number of challenges as the king in his younger days, with 5 challenges in total to attempt. This released last week without much fanfare to be honest, and it costs £24.99. Also already out is Homebody, which describes itself as a nostalgic survival horror puzzle game. It tells the story of Emily, who rents a cabin with friends to watch a meteor shower, only for the power to suddenly go out and a killer to begin to pick her friends off one by one. You'll need to solve the puzzles of the house and find your friends, and it's said to be inspired by retro horror video games and 80s slasher movies. The trailer doesn't give too much away from a gameplay perspective, but it certainly has my attention. It costs £16.75 or your regional equivalent. You have Bleak Sword DX, which released last week on the 8th and is published by Devolver Digital. This calls itself a dark action game where your warrior is challenged to fight through compact, cursed dioramic battlefields. There are 12 chapters to play through as you seek to lift the curse of the legendary Bleak Sword by striking down all manner of horrifying creatures. This Switch edition expands on the Apple Arcade version by improving the controls, tweaking the gameplay and graphics and adding 3 new game modes. I do really enjoy that lo-fi graphical style and I love anything set on a diorama. I think it just adds so much charm to a game. This one definitely has me interested. It costs £9.99 or your regional equivalent. You have Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, which also released last week on the 8th, and this comes via Don't Nod. This sees you taking on the role of Polly, who after a few years abroad searching for her missing mother, realises that her hometown has changed dramatically as a megacorporation are now using their power to control the people. She soon discovers that she has gifts of clairvoyance that connects her to Reverie, the realm of aspirations, and in this world Polly can become a goddess called Harmony. The story will change based on your choices as either Polly or Harmony and will ultimately affect the fate of humanity. We would have released a dedicated video based on this game by the time you're watching this. I'll put a card in the top right hand corner if you want to give it a watch and get the full details. And the last for those games already out is Hello Goodboy, a game about the adventures of a lost soul and his dog's journey through the afterlife. You play as Eco, a boy new to the afterlife, and his dog Coco, who must uncover the mysteries of their new existence. There are many characters to meet, each with their own story to tell and a task for Eco to help with, but there is only so much time, so you must decide who to spend the time with. These choices will determine which of the multiple endings you get. There's also a good boyo-meter for your dog, with you needing to keep him content with treats and belly rubs apparently. This one costs £12.79. Let's move on to the games coming out this week, and the first is Flannel Amethyst. This is a 3D platform game consisting of 10 levels, each with particular missions to carry out, such as defeating all enemies or collecting all gems. You have a burst ability to allow you to reach greater heights, and that's about as much as the blurb reveals. There isn't even a trailer on the eShop, and just a couple of lines of any sort of explanation, which doesn't really fill me with confidence I must say, but it is out on the 10th and it will cost £8.99. Then we have Sqroma. This is a puzzle game based around colour, with each one you pick up allowing you to pass through objects of that same colour, such as doors, enemies or bullets. The blurb states that there is usually more than one solution to each of the 69 levels, one clean way, and then more obscure offerings for you to attempt to find, and there are also 42 challenges to attempt, although these do not need to be passed to complete the game. I'm not a big fan of the art style I must say, but I do quite like the premise. These sort of puzzle games are always good for a quick play session. It's out on the 12th and it also costs £8.99. Also this week we have Dordogne, a very pleasant looking game with a heavy emphasis on story. You play as Mimi, exploring recollections of her childhood and times shared with her grandmother. Over the course of the game, she will use these childhood memories to uncover lost family secrets. You'll be exploring hand-painted watercolour-based landscapes, taking photos and using the sounds and scents to create a journal recounting vivid memories as you go. Again, not a huge amount of information about how this all pulls together gameplay-wise, but it does look beautiful to be fair. We'll find out more next week when it releases on the 13th. It will cost £15.99 or your regional equivalent.
My escapades along the river.
This place is awesome.
The discovery of incredible treasures. The people.
Then we have Brave Soldier Invasion of Cyborgs, which, generic title aside, looks like quite a decent and cheap run and gun shooter. There are 30 stages to get through as your commando braves jungles, snowfields, cliff tops and more, taking out his mechanical enemy along the way, and you'll pick up power-ups that change the bullets you fire. You've got spread guns, homing missiles, etc, the usual fare. It definitely has a look of Contra about it. There is actually a part in the trailer where he's shooting at enemies whilst holding onto a rope that could have been right out of a Contra game, but it also reminds me a little bit of a childhood favourite of mine in Midnight Resistance, so I might pick it up just for that. It will cost £4.49 and it's out on the 14th. Following on from that is Tales of Trainspot, which is a logic puzzle game based around train stations. Each map will have a number of stations with numbers ranging from 1 to 8, and to solve the puzzle you'll need to consider how to lay tracks between each station, keeping within the required amount to make sure all are connected. It's based around an island of animal residents which builds the story mode, and there is also an endless mode and a challenge mode to attempt. Again, nothing special to look at perhaps, but possibly one to play in small chunks. It will cost £9.89, but you can get 20% off this price up until launch, which is the 15th. The penultimate game for the week is Fall of Porcupine. This is a narrative adventure game based around starting a new job as a doctor. You'll be meeting your new colleagues and the residents of the town of Porcupine, building relationships with them by answers you give to their questions. You'll also need to investigate what's wrong with each of your patients and treat them via a number of minigames. It seems as if there might be a sinister undertone to the story though, as it mentions that as time goes on, things might not be as they seem, and perhaps everyone you meet isn't as honest as they appear. It will cost £17.99, but there is a demo you can try first, and it's out on the 15th. And finally for the week we have Stay Out of the House. This is a stealth horror game which sees you having been abducted by the Butcher, a cannibalistic murderer. You'll need to escape from the cage you find yourself in and avoid the plethora of traps within the house using tools and items to aid your escape. I get the feeling that this is very similar to something like Hello Neighbour but with a much gorier aesthetic, and I must say that although I'm not overly sold on the game itself, I do love the faux 70s grindhouse type trailer. This one comes out on the 16th and it will cost £14.49 or your regional equivalent.
Scream, but don't go inside. Ever leaves. Stay out of the house.
So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick up any of these games or anything else of course for that matter, you can do so via our website switchup.gg. You can get eShop cards on there, or you can purchase download codes themselves, and doing so will earn you SwitchUp tokens that you can then redeem later on against future purchases, obviously saving yourself a bit of money in the process. You also get your Nintendo coins when you put the code or card onto the eShop too, so you're getting twice the rewards basically. There's also a link down there to Play Asia if you're looking to import any games. Again, use the link, use the code, and you can get yourself 5% off of an order. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.